starting in just a sec. Can you let me know if you can hear me, Peggy? Forgot to turn up my phone. Can you hear me okay, Peggy? Thank you all for joining me. I'll be showing my face at the end this time, just because I wanted to have it all nice and set up. Alrighty, so this is just normal cardstock. The colors that I'm using are Thistle, Raspberry, and Pixie. I also have one of our washi tape holders, just magnetic, and it's so easy to load. I love it. In fact, they're on clearance, so I might have to go pick me up a couple more. Heat tool, the large brush, pigment ink in white, and a sponge dauber. I've got my rag over here, my chamois for cleanup, and I also took a piece of acetate. This is because I've used it so much it's ripping, and I just took our thin cuts and cut them out. I left some room so that way I could hold my fingers down around stuff. Okay, so we'll use that in a minute. Get some of this out of the way. So, and I don't know how to say this technique. I think it's bokeh, something like that. And I've used my washi tape a couple of times, so it's getting a little bit worn in. Alright, so we have Pixie ink. I'm going to put some of that on our all-purpose mat. And some Thistle ink right there. And some raspberry. Okay. Now I'm probably going to come back with the pink again because it's the lightest color. And that's what we're going to do. We'll start with the lightest color. I've got my brush filled with water, or almost filled with water. And I'm just going to mix up some color. And basically we just want to cover the whole thing with ink. You can dab it. You can swirl it, although I wouldn't swirl it. Okay? No swirls. So we're just getting some ink down. And I'm putting a lot more of the pink because the other colors are strong colors. And I can go back if I need to. Okay, next color is Thistle. Squeeze out a little water if you need. That's going to be a much wetter color. And you can see that I'm just kind of going around, and as I go around it lightens up, which is good. Try not to go over where you've just went. There's really no rhyme or reason, it's just kind of layering the colors. And next is raspberry, and then I'm going to get that nice and wet because that's a much darker color. And I'm just going in, and I just want to get rid of all that white. Blend it where you need to. It's kind of fun. Washi tape really helps to hold down your color. I tried it by wetting the paper like it said, but you really need watercolor if you're going to do that, because watercolor will spread and it'll be a much prettier look. But I kind of like it this way. Okay, so that's all we do for that. Now for this cleanup is pretty easy. I just squeeze some more out and just keep cleaning until it's clean. Obviously it's stained from another color, blue, but there you go. That's easy to do. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my rag and just clean up all this color. So we can get rid of that. Kind of a messy thing, but it's fun. And that push them out really helps. Okay. And there are a couple other sizes of brushes. And at first I used all three in just one color of each. But when I found out I could just wash it off, and if you go from light to dark, it really doesn't matter. So, and I like the bigger one because it spreads a little easier. It's a little more user-friendly. Okay. And you put water in them, you just undo this. And this one you can just pour in. The other ones have a little black top, so you have to squeeze this and release as the water's going in. That's all there is to that. Alright. So now, I am going to leave that washi tape and just heat it up, heat it up, heat it up, heat it up. That kind of keeps it straight, flat. Heat it up, heat it up, heat it up. When you think you're done, and I didn't need the raspberry again. When you think you're done, peel off your tape. You can set it aside on here and flip it over because the back has usually got some wet to it. So then heat up the back, okay? So I'm going to move that up and leave that there so you don't have to listen to me. So here's what you get. And because you take off the washi tape, you get a nice little white edge. If you want color on your whole card base, then make this about a ½ an inch bigger all the way around. So that way you have room to cut it down and still have an A-size card. Okay? So I'm getting better. The first one was not this flat. So now we're going to take... Is anybody else here? I hope you can all hear me. Now we're going to take our acetate sheet, our sponge dauber, and the white pigment ink, which is usually for embossing. And I just kind of lay the shapes over. You want to be able to hold on to the paper and your stencil. A couple ways you can do it. You can sponge it like this, or you can just smear it on. You're going to get less of a color by smearing than if you go in and pounce it. But that's going to take longer to dry too. So I don't do too many of those. Okay? Because this is waiting for your powder, embossing powder, you need to dry this. It will take quite a bit to dry. So I've got 3 circles there. Then what you want to do, I'm trying not to get my head too far in the way, is start overlapping where stuff is. And you're basically just covering up that ink to make it more of a kind of a ghost print, if you will. Okay, so I don't know if you can see, but I've got one here, one here, one here, and one here, kind of overlapping. I'm going to put another little one right in here. And then go to another bigger one. Let's see, where's my other bigger one? Let's do it off over here. So you just keep going until you get the whole thing covered. And hopefully you can see that. And then when you're done, if you need a little bit, you want something a little stronger, you just go in and just kind of wiggle it around. And can you see how much darker that one is? So if you just go in and put some extra ink on there, okay? Now as you look at this, you can see that it's kind of slightly shiny. You're going to dry it until it disappears. It's going to take a little while, okay? Get this out of the way. Close this up. And that's all there is to it, and then you're done. Like I say, it does take quite a while to do that. And to clean up this, you just wipe it off with a wet rag, and then go wash your rag. I usually do the front and the back. like so, and just let it dry. Okay, so let me get rid of that and show you. Here's a piece of one that I did. I'll get up close as I can so you can maybe see. Let's see if you can see the difference. If I lay those two down, can you see any difference with how that looks kind of sticky and this one looks a little more flat or opaque or ghost-like? That's what you need it to do. Now on this one, I used the white embossing, but I thought I maybe had to put some clear embossing powder over it or it wouldn't dry, but I found out it does dry. If you dry it enough, it will dry. But this is kind of cool too. Okay, so for this green one, the colors I used were clover, green apple, and sage. Okay. And then I have a blue one I'm going to show you that I used peacock, lagoon, and bluebird. And again, just for doing it like this, thistle, raspberry, and pixie. Always start with your lightest and go up to darkest, because you can add more light, can't take away the dark. Okay, so some card examples. So this first one I'm going to show you is the blue, and it kind of almost turns purpley. Hopefully you can see that right in there behind there. This stamp set unfortunately has sold out. Sorry. Just means it was very popular. The stamp set is still available. Let me back up. The stamp set is still available, but the stamp set with the thin cuts is gone. Okay? And this is peacock behind here and a little bit of white. The next one is the pink version. And this is using a little bit of the mix-ins paper. This one little stamp set. And this is Pixie behind here, which is the color of the pink ink. And I love how that purple just is light, and the raspberry is even not quite so strong. So there's that one. And now I have kind of a sneak peek for you. It's for the upcoming next catalog, so I'm going to show it to you without showing it to you. Here we go. So here's a pink one. Oh, should have covered that up too. There's a pink one. And here is that green piece. So you can use it all different ways. Okay? And these cards I will have, I will put down in the comments in another week or so to give you a more of a sneak peek. Alrighty? Thank you for watching, Peggy. If you have any questions, put them down in the text. And if you would tell me which of the 3 color groups was your favorite, I would appreciate it. And if you watch the replay, say replay watching. And now I'm going to bring this down. I said I would show me. Here I am. Hi everyone. I hope your Friday's going great. Thank you so much, Peggy, for watching. And see you next Friday. Bye, ladies.